Hi, I'm Jennifer Carter, and thank you for joining me on a podcast for parents, teachers, and administrators. Today's conversation should be a good one, and I'm sure it's something on your mind. So let's get to it.
All right. Thank you for joining us again. As you can see, we're not in my regular office space. We're in a kitchen because today we're talking about food and we're talking with Tina. I'm going to let Tina tell us what she does and why we're in a kitchen.
Hi, I'm Tina Marie. I am CEO and founder of Soulful Soil Farms. I am a farmer in training, and our nonprofit builds community gardens, and we teach kids how to grow their own food. We teach about the importance of sustainability and why it's important to grow your own fruits and vegetables. So today we are going to make some farm faces, aka avocado toast.
So there's some things in there that I want to talk about. You said you're a farmer in training.
Yes.
Help us understand what is
Yes.
a farmer in training.
So I grew up on a farm. I grew up on a farm in Compton. Chickens, cows, horses.
Wait, we got to back up again.
Okay.
How? Wait, where? How?
In Compton. Yeah, Compton has farms. Yeah, it's called Richland Farms.
Okay.
And as a kid, I grew up on the farm chasing chickens. We had a cotton tree in the front, fruits, vegetables. We grew our own crops, chickens. We processed our own chickens. And so I spent most of my adult life in healthcare, Western medicine, and I slowly made the transition into more agricultural field. So when I left the medical field, I kind of stepped into the other medical field. You know, it's just the holistic side of it. So farmer in training. I go to class. I take classes twice a week at a school in Norco, ecological agricultural training. It's called the Eat Center, and they teach us everything there is A to Z about farming, small scale farming.
Do they teach you how to farm in like small spaces, like apartments, or because a lot of people live in apartments or they don't have a big space to have what we think of as a farm, but they may have space to have what is the definition of a farm, which is soil that feeds them, right?
Yeah, well, to define a farm, you have to be able or to have sold at least $1,000 in crops in a year, and that solidifies you as a farm.
Otherwise, you're a garden.
Yes,
got it. So
yes, and
maybe I should
both.
change my language and say
gardening in small spaces. Yes, we do. What they teach is based on small scale anyway.
Okay.
So you can take the farming practices and you're still applying it to your garden because you're still growing your fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
Excellent. So when you went to school, now I'm curious, like, and you're like, oh yeah, my chickens, and people are like how did that go over?
Well, growing up, we had chickens. Where I'm currently at, I cannot have chickens at that location. But I just took an egg handling class. So chickens is that's going to be my first livestock. That will be my first livestock. And I'm looking for a piece of land where I can keep the chickens, like where someone else may have a chicken coop, I would just have my own.
I see.
So
it's like a condo or apartment building for chickens.
Kind of. It depends on if they're being raised for, eggs or processing. So that'll make a difference.
Yes.
That makes a difference. But most of what I'm wanting to do when it comes to the livestock is eggs.
Okay.
Yes.
And so when you say processing, you mean eat?
Yes.
I think sometimes people get terrified when they think about their food, what used to be alive and moving. But how do you get over that hump? How do you help people understand that in order for you to get proper nutrients, part of that involves consumption of something that was once alive, whether it's a plant or an animal?
I've never gone the vegan or vegetarian route. But I do know the difference in what we put into our bodies. A lot of what we purchase in the grocery stores is processed, from the meat to the vegetables and the fruit. So a lot of the fruits and vegetables are also genetically modified. So for me, I would rather raise a chicken and process it and store it, for my own consumption, knowing that it was raised properly, fed properly, and now me putting it to my body, it's not going to cause long-term issues down the line.
Okay.
Ultimately, that's what's happening with what we buy in the grocery stores.
So again, I used to live in Africa, and I had my very own chicken, and a lot of times people thought she was a pet.
She wasn't.
She's not, like I think we consider food pets instead of
if you give it,
understanding kind of both the usefulness of them and then,
there are some, and I may be one of them. Once you give it a name, that's pretty much your pet.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fair.
That's kind of like
That's
rule
fair.
number one. Don't
That's
name
fair.
it.
Yes.
But I know a farm family who purchased pigs for processing, for slaughter. The husband fell in love with one of them, and they became their pet. And
Yes.
to this day, they still have it.
Okay.
So I mean, it kind of just depends on the farmers, the family, the kids.
Yes.
But ultimately, if you are farming as a business and you're selling your product, you definitely want to keep that in mind, because pets are expensive.
Yes.
And so at that point, once it becomes a pet, now you're feeding it on a regular basis. It's not an investment.
Right.
There's no return on that investment.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah.
And so tell us about some of the ways that things are processed and we may not even realize. Like you talked about GMOs. I think people are familiar with genetically modified. What's the O stand for?
Genetically modified, I believe, organism.
Okay. But there's other ways that are not as obvious. So what are some of the ways that we're consuming things and we may not even be aware that it's not just fruit or vegetable?
Steroids in the meat.
Oh.
A lot of times. So I receive I signed up for USDA email alerts for like notifications that go out and the recalls that they have. And I don't think people realize how many recalls there are. There will be recalls on chicken breast. And I know not too long ago, and pardon me, I know this is not verbatim, but a couple years ago, they approved where chickens grow this kind of like a scab. Think of a scab that fills with pus, and they can cut it off and still sell that chicken to us for consumption.
So, what are some of the ways that we're eating things that may not be good for us and we may not even be aware?
Aside from fruits and vegetables, a lot of our meat that's processed, injected with hormones, growth hormones, steroids, yes. And what they're putting into the chicken, we're putting into our body when we consume it. Not too long ago, it was a couple of years ago, and I can find the article for you. So forgive me if I'm misquoting.
Yeah, we can link that.
Yes. But it was approved where the chickens, they would grow like these lesions and have like the scabs filled with pus, and they're able to cut it off and still sell it to us as consumers.
Oh wow.
It's considered still healthy, like it was sellable, and we can consume it. The benefit of the chicken outweighs whatever it is that they're cutting off.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's terrifying.
Yes.
And kind of gross.
Yes.
How can we as regular consumers, so let me say it a different way. Most parents don't have time to check the USDA. And most parents want to ensure that their kids eat well.
Right.
So what are some quick ways that we can get information that is good, solid, credible sources in helping us making better food choices? Research.
I know we have to make the time. We have to make the time. We're all busy, but this is something that ultimately, if you look online, is making us sick down the long run, so research, honestly. We have some links on our website where we try to like inform the public, but there's not many of us, so it's a lot. It is definitely a lot. It's a lot of information out there, though. It's really just about research. Ultimately, I push farmers markets. I push farmers markets as much. If you can find you a good farmers market, build a relationship and rapport with that farmer, you're not only supporting the small farmer business, but that your products are being sourced and grown organically. As opposed to mass production, where I was explaining earlier, a lot of the mass production farmers, they have hundreds of acres of crops. You have a pest problem, it's easy to fly a plane over it and drop pesticides, to kind of get that all in one shot, versus you have the small scale farmers. We're working more hand in hand with their crops on maybe 1-2 acres, sometimes even less. And, we're using natural organic, and we're always constantly looking for organic ways to farm and garden, because problems continue to come up, and we can't just like Roundup. I don't know if you heard about Roundup. There was like a big thing with Roundup for killing killing the weeds.
I've heard. But
if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be banned. But people use it to kill their weeds, and it was carrying over to crops. And again, that's something that we're consuming. We did a story. It's on our website about PLU numbers, which is that sticker that they put on the fruit. And forgive me because my memory right now is that I don't have the meaning of the definition of the PLU. But it's a coding system that they use to identify fruits and vegetables that are genetically modified. So you want to go aim towards the 8s and 9s and stay away from the 4s, the ones that start with the 4. And then if you also look in the grocery stores, a lot of fruits that they're selling are seedless. And fruits are supposed to have seeds.
Yeah, where does it come from if it doesn't have a seed?
Exactly. So they're modifying our food in ways that we can't even imagine. And like you said, we're busy. We're moving on a day-to-day basis. So it's again, like I was saying earlier, you should not be able to buy watermelon all year round. We should be buying based on season. We should be buying what is in season, and farmers and gardeners, so to speak, more so farmers because they're selling what they're growing. They grow based on season.
Right.
So we grow based on what's in season. Thankfully, in California, a lot we can grow year round, but everything is not always in season. Watermelon is not something you can grow year round. So we should not be purchasing that year round. It should not be available year round.
Yeah.
And it should have seeds.
Yes.
It should have seeds.
Yes.
That's how we are able to continue to reproduce and grow. So,
I kind of look at it from like a more positive, like, instead of don't eat, because it's more like it's a treat to have watermelon in the summer and cantaloupe. That's a summer fruit.
Yeah.
And then you can eat it and it can drip down your face and down your arms, and then you can cool off. I mean, because that's what I did when I was a kid. That's what I encouraged my own kids to do. And we had a really big garden. Both of the boys that I raised were Division I basketball players.
Oh, nice.
And they were highly ranked and all the rest of it. And they ate a ton. So we had a huge garden for many, many years. And they would find bugs. And I'd say, if the bugs eat it, you should. Right?
Yes.
You don't want something that the bugs won't eat. So I think there's some ways that parents can help their kids have an appreciation for, I love watermelon. Well, it's not in season. Let's not buy it. Because it's all driven by our consumer habits too.
Yes.
So what are some habits that we have that are driving us sicker?
Ooh, conveniency would be probably top of my list. There's fast food restaurants on every corner. And even though we have the healthier options, I don't know if it's okay to name some, but like you have Chipotle, which is a healthier, but it's still a form of fast food. We should be cooking at home. And I know first and foremost, busy. We're working all day. The kids just got out of school. We got to help with homework, then we got to get ready for the next day. But we have to, we're talking about our health. We're talking about the health of our kids.
Yeah.
So just like we make time to go to Burger King and grab up a couple of number 2s, we need to time management. Set aside an hour or two to make sure that we're sourcing organically, farmers markets when you can, and cooking at home.
Yeah.
And that's really going to be one of the key factors, I think, in changing how we consume. But conveniency, because everyone is so busy, and so time management plays a part. And what's it called? Where you're cooking ahead of time. Meal prep. Thank you. That's the conveniency of meal prep. Like you take that time out to make your dishes ahead of time, and it changes the game for you. So there's ways. We just got to kind of take the time. Just like I said, we'll make that right and left to hit McDonald's drive-through. Make that left and right and head to your
market. Yeah.
And most farmers markets, especially in the Inland Empire, we have some really big ones. Depending on the area, I know Rancho has a big one. We have one in Riverside. There's Riverside Hospital, Loma Linda. But there's farmers markets, and online there is a website that will show you where your closest farmers market is. So unfortunately, I know some are during the day where people are working, but there's weekend ones. Rancho has one every Saturday.
Yeah.
And then they have a fruits and vegetables person. There's somewhere you can go and get your produce, and make that your part of your list when you're going to the grocery store. Make that one of your stops when you got to go to Stater Brothers and you got to go to Walmart. Make the farmers market one of your stops and get your produce there.
It's interesting. farmers markets are super kid friendly too.
Yes.
There's stands where they can taste things.
Yes.
Even if they don't taste them, they can touch them and feel how squishy they are.
Yes.
And you really open up your kid's palate, because one of the things that parents struggle with is picky eaters, or I don't know what my kid is allergic to. The more you expose them to farmers markets, because those are, like you said, small scale, almost all of them are organic, low pesticide, low steroids. It's a great way to engage your kids in color and sound and taste and texture. And I think parents often miss that opportunity to just have an outing.
Yeah.
And we're in California, so they're year round.
They are.
But there's in other cities. So, for example, I'm from Cleveland.
Okay.
We have a place called the West Side Market. Imagine a farmer's market, but inside.
Okay.
And there's small farmers that have like whole pigs and whole goats. And can, let me have that pig, or let me have that. Yeah. And so it becomes an outing. And I still take my kids.
Yeah.
They come home, we go to the farmer's market, you're outside and it's nice, fresh air. The other thing about that time management, I am a queen of crock pots.
Yes.
Bam, bam, bam. Yes. You're out the door.
Yep. Absolutely.
And engaging your children in that prep.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to make today, aside from this giant couple of knives, this is a pretty kid-friendly meal.
Yes. Yes.
And I might even, like, some of the things that you use for a knife, I might use my hands.
Yes.
So that parents who are watching can see, oh, I don't really need a knife. Here's how a child could smush and be, a part of this as well.
Very
so
much
why don't we transition into
okie dokie.
Okay. So now we're in the put on our gloves part. You have the professional grade gloves.
They're just a little fitted, a little more fitted.
And I have these little flimsy numbers that are very kid friendly. Because our kids are working on fine motor, they don't necessarily need the fingers.
Oh, okay.
You can tie it around. You can tie off the fingers and just let them use their whole hands.
Okay.
They don't need necessarily the fine finger.
Gotcha.
You can also tie them pretty tight so that they stay on. So these are, for our parents who are using these, and you can see at first it's big and flimsy, and then I tie it pretty tight to my hand.
Been doing that for a while.
And, been around the schoolyard. So what are we cooking?
We are doing farm face avocado toast.
Okay.
So last night I made bread and
love that.
Yes. So I gave in and got a bread maker. This is olive oil and Italian seasoning bread.
Ooh.
Yes. Okay. So this is my seed mix. It's called Trilogy. Flax, chia, and hemp seeds. Very healthy. Extra virgin olive oil. We have some fresh thyme out the garden, fresh rosemary out the garden. This is a seasoning blend with low salt, avocados from farmer's market, and baby Roma tomatoes from the garden.
What's the carrot for?
Oh, and this is an organic carrot that I got out of the organic section. That's also going on the avocado toast.
Oh. So you made this bread yourself. Ooh, it feels good too.
Yes.
It looks good. I may have to ask for some samples.
Oh, yeah, this absolutely. Absolutely.
It smells wonderful.
Thank you. What I haven't gotten down is cutting evenly. So it's going to be thick up top in some places.
That's okay.
Okay.
Because remember, we're trying to do things that parents can do with kids.
Yes.
A lot of times, their dexterity is not there. So this is probably pretty perfect.
Okay.
And I love that we have these little leavings because then they're good for nibbling on.
Yes, they are. Let me know what you think.
I think it's delicious.
Thank you. Okay. Will you do me a favor?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to have you peel the carrot. You can the shreddings into there. And you can do halfway down. It's fine.
Okay.
Like this? Let me see. You should be able to go down. Yeah, like that.
Okay. Got it.
Thank you.
So again, this is pretty easy for kids to use.
I'm gonna cut.
As you can see, I am not a professional and I'm having success.
So these tomatoes are out of the garden. I picked them this morning.
Ooh.
And if you garden,
it
and even if you
really
don't
good.
garden, you really want to try to save your food scraps. I have a freezer full, and you add them to your compost bin.
And you can make a compost bin out of anything, a bucket or...
Yeah. Yes. You just want to be careful where you're storing it because you don't want it to bring rodents and pests.
Okay.
So now I'm going to have you, if you can, please slice the carrots. So this is going to be... Okay.
Yep.
Are they making it into the plate? Not one, huh?
And I'm going to do that to make it a little easier.
Okay.
Now, this wouldn't be something I would recommend for kids to do just because it's got a sharp blade. I'm going to move this out of the way.
So we have our avocado mashed. So we're going to...
I'm going to pause. Mashing avocado with a 2-year-old, that's like heaven.
And especially in those gloves. Yes. So it's okay to get messy. You know, it's okay to get messy. That's part of the fun.
So I'm actually going to take this and not use the knife.
Go for it.
So again, you can see this is perfect for taking out. And this is the time when you can, like, I know that sometimes people are like, don't play with your food, but
no,
this
you should absolutely play with your food.
You know, this is learning how your food works.
Yes.
You know,
and
so it's
sensory.
Yes. Which again is a vital skill.
Here you go.
I know sometimes it can look like kids are playing, but it's really exploration. I love that, especially with this avocado, I can squeeze it a little and it comes out chunky, or I can squeeze it a lot and get it like all through my fingers, and then it comes out a lot smoother. So then it becomes like a spread. But this is a terrific, messy,
fun.
Yes. And easy to wash your clothes afterwards, by the way.
Yeah, avocado won't stain.
Yes.
And it's super healthy for you.
All of this stuff smells so good. I wish there was like a
smell-o-vision
meter, where we could smell what we're doing as well, because it smells really nice.
It's the rosemary. Yeah. So we have, that's just to add a little seasoning. So we have...
And what's in the seasoning?
So this is a mixture of sea salt, garlic, dehydrated onion. There's some rosemary in there, pepper, probably some onion, salt. It's a combination. So I've taken there's 3 different seasonings that I use, and I kind of combine them all to make, this is like my go-to for...
I see.
Yeah.
It smells delicious.
Thank you. And then high blood pressure is a thing. So I use either sea salt or Himalayan salt. It's dense, and that way you don't need so much, but you still have some flavor. And I flavor more now than I used to. I used to be a Laurie's fanatic. Now I flavor more with my herbs. So I use rosemary, thyme, this mixture, my seed mixture, and it helps bring out the flavors of the food that you're eating. And it just kind of lets you know you're retraining. I retrained my palate to not need salt, you know. So, all right. So now we are
Could I have one more? I'm going to smush the tomatoes up.
Yeah.
Again, kind of
toddler style. Want me to cut
style.
it open for you first? Nope. Or, okay. You want another plate?
No. Okay. I'm just going to smush it so we can see that again. And I think we also have to recalibrate our expectation of quote unquote what it's supposed to look like.
Yes.
Right. So this is from a toddler's perspective, or someone under 5. That's what diced and smushed and prepped tomatoes might look like.
And then another thing I like about this particular recipe is the colors.
Yes.
The colors are so vibrant, and it's just a mixture of, I love orange. You have the bright red from the tomatoes, the green from the avocado. You have a little earthy tone from the seeds.
Colors.
There you go. It just kind of, you know what I mean? It's just a really good filling snack.
Yeah.
So we have our chia seed mix, we have our seasoning mix, we have our rosemary, then we have our thyme. Okay. So we don't have to do faces. We can just start decorating our toast however we want to. Put these pieces out of the way.
Good for snacking. Turn it into croutons.
There you go. Turn it into croutons is amazing. Absolutely. Okay. So we have our carrots, our tomatoes, our seasonings. So when I season with rosemary, depending on what it is, I'll either crush it or leave it whole. For this, I'm going to crush it. Just because I don't want it. It can be for kids like pokey, like it can poke them in the gums. So you would definitely want to crush it up as fine as you can, and you can get rosemary crushed. But because I grow my own rosemary and dry it, I grow my herbs and dry them, so they are they are whole. But again, you can crush them. Okay. That's not a thing, and that's something else that they can do. It's another fun activity,
and it makes the house smell nice.
Oh yeah, I love the smell. Love.
And then I just sprinkle this on mine.
Yep. Okay. Then we have our seasoning. So this has, like I said, sea salt in it. So this is a little where the flavoring comes in, as far as if you have a palate that likes salt or seasoning, you can be a little liberal with it, because most of this is herbs. And again, sea salt is a healthier form also.
And we'll make sure that we link the ingredients with like really loose recipes for how to make these.
Absolutely. Then we have some thyme. Sprinkle away. That one you got to kind of, yeah. Yep. Thyme is a great earthy herb. Smells amazing. All right. And then we have our trilogy. So our chia, hemp, and what is it? Flax.
Chia, that'd make it crunchy too.
Yes. These are so healthy. I just started growing these seeds about a week, not these particular seeds, but about a week ago. This type of seed, these types of seeds. And then now we decorate with you have your tomato and your carrots. It's funny because I have 2 kids also, teenagers, well, young adults, 18 and 21. And getting them to eat healthy was like always like pulling teeth. Now, because of my avocado toast is like one of the main things that's requested now. Mom, you making avocado toast? And then when I made the bread last night, they were like, "Are you gonna make avocado?" I said, "Not for you guys. Not for you guys,
but not for you.
Not for you." But yeah, it's really just about retraining your palate. We introduce our kids to a lot of the stuff that they eat. McDonald's is, like I said, it's a quick, easy, convenient stop. We're introducing them to McNuggets and fries and High C orange, which obviously that's my go-to if when I used to go to McDonald's. But that's something we're introducing. So just like we introduce their palates to those things, the younger you start, the better. But we're introducing their palates to something that they may not be used to. They don't know what they like. But start introducing healthier options. And I was gonna do if we do this again, or I can give you some recipes, like a French toast stick with, you can do like the fresh made bread. Ooh. And I can do some recipes where you don't need a bread maker. Okay. But even for like healthier options bread, it's like a little French toast sticks with a berry compote. You just take some berries and mash them up, add a little bit of honey. And that's delicious. Their dip. Yeah, there's so many ways. There's so many ways. You can Google a recipe with AI today. Yeah. You can chat GPT, healthy recipes for kids, and get you a little list and pick and choose. Yeah. What we have access to, it's way easier now. Right. It's literally about disciplining ourselves just to make the time.
And I want to linger and say, unpopular opinion, picky kids are usually the result of adults who let them become picky, or picky adults. Yeah, agreed. Kids do not have biases. Just like we say, oh, they're not born into bias about race or gender. Right. Food is also, one of those things where they don't have that bias innately. All right. So
it's a learned behavior.
Into some bite size.
You want to cut yours? You give yours a cut.
I'm going to be fancy and do some diagonal cuts. Okay. Just for the vocabulary. So that's some diagonal cuts.
And carrots and tomatoes were just the choices today, but you can literally put any kind of healthy options on avocado toast. You start with your avocado base. I typically do tomatoes, but you can go from there. You could do onions. You can do just herbs. You can leave it at the avocado and tomatoes. You can do the carrots,
some spinach, some basil.
Absolutely, spinach. Your herbs I always suggest the herbs. But yeah, there's so many different ways you can work this and dress this up, and that the kids can, also be a part of.
Well, thank you so much. This looks amazing. We're going to try some.
Okay.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to have one with a lot of tomato. Cheers.
Jeez.
All right. That's really delicious.
Yeah, thank you. Listen.
Those tomatoes are delicious.
Thank you. I picked them this morning. They're baby Romas.
They're good. Well, Tina, tell us one more. I'm going to have you talk because my mouth is full. That's another thing you have to accept when you have kids. Sometimes they talk with their mouth full. So while I stuff this into my mouth, I'm going to have you talk about your social and where we can find you.
Okay. So our Instagram is soulful_soil_farms. Our Facebook is Soulful Soil Farms. Our TikTok is Soulful Soil Farms. Our website is www.soulfulsoilfarms.org. And then you can reach me if you have any questions. Like I said, we do garden builds. We do workshops where we're teaching kids how to grow their own food. We're working on some farm to table events as well. We have a community garden in San Bernardino where we have volunteers come out. So if you're looking to volunteer or to learn to garden, just reach out to us either on the website or the Instagram, and I'll make sure I get back to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Miss Tina. This was delicious. And if you like this, leave a comment. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
If you like what you heard, or even if you have some feedback, put a comment in our comment section. Be sure to like our page and make sure that you subscribe so that you can hear when the next video comes out. Thanks so much again for joining us.